And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Bingo Bango! I've never started the show Bingo Bango. Welcome, Spike's Car Radio friends and fans, if you're new. Hello, and welcome to Spike's Car Radio podcast. If you're one of our old buddies, hello to you. Happy Thanksgiving. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's Wednesday. Boy, unlike anything I've ever seen. I just got tested. I went to that Veterans Association parking lot, winding row of cars. It's the worst autocross there is. It's you're thinking about, boy, it's funny because some people can't even go around the turn to go up the next aisle.
They can barely pilot their craft.
They can barely pilot the craft, and it's funny as you're side by side in the winding twist and turn, everybody's looking in the car, and some people have the window open and don't have masks on. Other people have everything up. Other people are reading. We watched, I had the kids and Erica with me, so Erica said, I've got a book on tape, and the kids started screaming, and I said, how about some Netflix? And then Erica was mad at me that we were watching My Octopus Friend in the car.
One of the greatest, strangest documentaries
good,
of all
right?
time.
Well, then we all turned. We were wrapped, and before we knew it, we were up there getting tested. And now I'm spending Thanksgiving with my only real family member, Zuckerman.
Exactly.
It's just you and me today, by the way. I just wanted to say that, Zuckerman. It's just you and me. There's no guest coming on later. I just thought we would do a quick little have fun Thanksgiving episode. I don't even think there's a theme. I have some things I want to talk about. I know you just celebrated your birthday. Happy birthday. You're now as old as I am.
I'm finally as old as you.
Did you get any good presents? Do you care?
I don't care about presents.
Did you get any presents?
Yes. My daughter wrote me a beautiful letter, something I will cherish forever, wow. And that's better than any scarf or tchotchkes or any of the other shit that I normally get that I'm impossible to buy for because I don't want anything.
She wasn't separating herself from the family formally, saying
no, but
it wasn't one of those letters?
She did her own
What do they call that, emancipation?
Yes, or divorcing, family divorce. Congratulations, Dad. I hate you. Goodbye.
That's amazing. That must have been really sweet. How old is your daughter now?
22.
And she wrote you a nice dad letter. Wow.
A nice dad letter about how much she respects me and cares for me.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful thing.
Did you cry, Zuckerman? I see you getting a little emotional now.
I should be a little emotional, but I'm crying because you're manspreading at me, and I'm looking at your measly little sack pointed in mine.
Look at you.
I'm doing the same thing, but mine is something to be aghast at.
There's no shape. Don't shape. Now you're being Fatsian and changing the emotional subject matter that we were talking about. But how is that? I have boys. But I know when the girls are 12, they're a nightmare, and then they come around now, 10 years later.
Yes, she's the sweetest thing, and she's very thoughtful and very insightful.
Does she like cars?
Oh, she loves cars. Don't you know she's come to the Sunday Cars and COVID
to
see she really likes it. And when she was younger, I had her driving stick in my 964 C2, and she wants to reacquaint herself with that. My boy, who's 19, he can drive stick like a pro.
Yeah, he's driving GT2 RSs and everything else.
He's driving anything he can get.
He's living the life of Riley.
He is
my
a little wormy guy. He's all he does is go to school and play Xbox. And, and
what else is there to do? You talk about cars and COVID. It's now I'm going to move the COVID in front of the cars. It's, today, Wednesday, here we are. We had 6,000 cases yesterday because idiots don't want to wear their masks. And they're going to, by the end of today, they're going to shut down L.A. again. We're going to be in that position, Zuckerman, which is, by the way, really the reason it's just me and you today. I'm too depressed about all this. I don't want to bring anybody else in the room. I'm hearing stories about people catching this thing, doing podcasts. Just me and you.
I'm depressed at our inability to get a handle on this. Look at how many things we as a country, how many things we've conquered as a country.
Right.
And we're unable to conquer this. Other countries, big countries, have conquered this thing, and we're just flailing and arguing with each other. And there are some days we're almost at 9/11 levels of mortality. A 9/11 every day for almost a year. It's so unacceptable.
Did you, I think I know the reason why.
Why?
It's Randy Quaid. I don't know if you saw, he's in the news today. He was trending on Twitter, and I had to go, well, hell, I want to watch why Randy. I love his craziness. By the way, one of my favorite comedic actors. He has lost his mind, or maybe he never had it, and he escaped to Canada, right, with his
girlfriend when they believed that they had cracked the Star Whacker conspiracy.
Yes. Well, look at what he put out. Here's this video today, and you haven't seen it yet, have you?
I haven't seen it. Like evil Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's held up. It's an iPhone upright vertical video. The first sign of someone who's crazy, by the way, someone who shoots the vertical video. And then listen to this, Zuckerman. I'm gonna play it for everybody.
This picture really looks like he's a cult leader, like Father Yod.
It's impressive and frightening at the same time. Hold on, let me play it. Oh, what did I do? Okay,
you fucked it up. Of
well,
course.
I don't have the real
You're
studio
a boob.
here.
Fox News daytime ratings have completely collapsed. Weekend daytime, even worse. Very sad to watch this happen. But they forgot the way. They forgot what made.
Okay, it's not over. He's lost his train of thought.
I have to tell you, this is absolutely mesmerizing.
Right, and he's got like red and green
flashing
light in his
strobe
face.
lights. Yes,
it's surprisingly effective and good. Let me play the rest of it. But then he went. Blah, 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 right, so he clearly doesn't have a prompter or anything else, but didn't mind it. He's still 100% in his performance here. Watch.
Successful. What got them there? They forgot the golden goose. The only difference between the 2016 election and 2020 is Fox News.
What? Okay, what?
That was the most demented thing I've ever seen. I don't know if this
What is it? But what the hell am I looking at
You're
here?
looking
I know
at mental illness that's been with a sprinkling of drug abuse on top of it.
What is the mental illness that I'm looking at, in your opinion?
He has had a psychotic break. He's had a psychotic break, and I think
what causes that?
Drugs? Well, it could be drugs. It could be life events. I also see the interaction of psychotic break along with methamphetamine. Now, I don't know if he's currently on methamphetamine, but whatever problem he had was leavened by the use of drugs.
Yes.
And now he's like a very strange Gandalf figure in this video.
But wouldn't you say the production values of his video, as crazy as his is, are surprisingly good?
Well, I can tell you that I was mesmerized and I want to watch it all day long.
And he just needs a little more writing under. He missed a line or two, and there was some gobbly stuff I didn't understand. But
he could be the next Joe Rogan or Dan Bongino.
Well, my suggestion would be to somehow connect the QAnon conspiracy to Randy Quaid and let him play Q. Because he's effective in his communication. And I would like every week to hear him say things like this. Like, I guess now you're attacking Fox News because they're starting to tell the truth, but forget politics, Randy Quaid. Just get out. I would like every day, I would like to start my day with one of these videos.
Yes, with a communique from wherever he's at. He would be Q.
As a godlike, well, not even Q, it's just a godlike face that comes from Canada that says something about anything. Right?
Yes. Yes.
He's got 2.2 million views on this video alone
doubt.
right there. This is just one guy's tweet. Oh, that's Randy's tweet. That's his. I don't know. To me, he's worth following at this point now on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Because he's going to be very, very entertaining to watch, right? Well, I'm going to segue into our sponsor for this week because talking about Randy Quaid really relates to our sponsor, which is BetterHelp.com. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals?
Yes.
What is that, Zuckerman?
My lack of Blue Chew.
BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online, just like Randy Quaid does it. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be available locally in many areas. The service available for your clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime. Send a message to your counselor. You'll get a timely and thoughtful response. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions We could all use this today, Zucker. When we started off depressed, we need this. We need better help. So you won't ever have to sit down in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. Do you like the waiting room of a therapist?
I do, because I like to press the button with the light.
Hey, but there's no therapy. You can't
You
go
can't
anywhere.
do that anymore.
Right. You can only
so this
do
is
this
perfect,
stuff.
and I would like to have a split screen. I would like to have Randy Quaid on one side, spurring on my mania, and then my therapist talking me down.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Boy, we all need this as a country right now. Visit their website, read their testimonials that are posted daily. They want me to read one or two. I'm not going to do it. I've run out of time. But I think you should go to betterhelp.com and check them out. And, of course, use our special code, betterhelp.com/Spike911. My name, my favorite car. That's spelled EHELP, Better Help. And join over 1 million people who've taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. You guys will get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com, betterhelp.com, Spike911. And it's available in all states. Look at that. Nice new sponsor. I like that. It's pretty good.
I'm a big believer in therapy. I've done a lot of it.
We are.
It's really helped me. That said, how did these people find us, and why would they want to advertise with us?
Well, we have a predominantly male audience who's predominantly upscale and it's smart. We have a very smart, intelligent audience too, Zuckerman, save for a few individuals.
Well, it's true, but we do
and you know who you are.
We do come off somewhat maladjusted, though, Ferrison.
Yeah, but isn't that perfect? Two maladjusted guys.
Sitting
It's
around laughing at Randy Quaid, his very long suicide note, and we're laughing about that.
Because it's funny. But maybe they're sending us Audio Boom is trying to get us some help before we do off ourselves. Do you think that could happen?
It could.
I had some Porsche stuff to talk about here. There was a story. There's a couple stories I don't know about, and I was going to ask you about. Let me see here. No, not Randy Quaid. It was, this list I found really fascinating, all right? Cars that lost Consumer Reports recommendation over reliability issues.
No kidding.
Just came out, Zuckerman.
Really?
And it's quite a list. There were some surprises on it for me. Let me start off with some of the ones you may have guessed. I don't think actually there's anyone you would have guessed other than Kia Forte and Kia Soul. Those, you go, yeah,
predictable.
Of course. All right.
Did they ever have a recommendation? I'd be surprised if they did.
These were all pulled. Now, I don't know the criteria of how they make this, but reliability has fallen for various reasons, and each manufacturer is different. Okay, first, and this is alphabetical, Audi e-tron.
Really?
The Audi e-tron, which is a very cool car. We have a couple on my street. You hear them coming before you see them. They go,
it's the law now. You know, I have a case like that now.
What do you mean?
We have a case where some people were run over and killed by a very silent electric car. It was at night, and it is our position that electric cars without noise, and this is now a mandated thing, that cars need to make noise because you have to be able to hear something approaching.
Can you say the brand of the car?
It's the biggest seller out there.
Oh, okay.
And
I think we know who that is.
Yes, and they are ubiquitous, and they've been selling for a long time, and they are silent. And we had a discussion.
The car is silent, or the company is silent?
The car is silent.
Yes.
So the car is silent, so they were approached from behind and run over. And that particular car also may have a problem with its headlights not properly functioning. It's my allegation that the silence of the cars could have contributed, in all likelihood did contribute to our decedent's inability to get out of the way.
Wow.
You know, in the very olden days, in the 1910s or so, they did not have railroad crossing tracks the way they do today. They did not have safety arms. You had to cross those things just on your own idea of whether it was safe or not. And they used to have stop, look, and listen.
Yeah.
Listen was, for safety's sake, was a very big part of crossing railroad grades back in the day before they had safety arms and lights and warnings. Listen, you have to have an ability to hear another vehicle. And that's a problem with early electric cars.
What was the driver doing? That he
We don't
didn't
know
see?
yet.
We
don't know. Other than killing two people,
Yeah.
we don't know. We're going to figure that out.
And it was on a straight road or around a turn? Or
No, straight road at night.
Wow.
Two people out for a walk.
So they were on the side of the road.
Yeah, they were. It was a street in an area that did not have sidewalks.
Right.
It was a not really a traveled area.
Surprised people do things like that. I told you about the guy I saw the other day in Burton in Beverly Hills riding his bike in the left oncoming traffic lane without a helmet and whistling. And he was not a homeless
whistling.
guy. He was like, dude, and it was nighttime, and I just missed him. He didn't seem to mind. He was just having a nice time listening to his music. Anyway, the Audi e-tron 3. New car, new platform, new everything. Doesn't surprise me. I would bet Audi will figure that out. The Q3 was on there. The Audi Q3. That surprised me. Now, there's something that's been around for a little while.
And I tend to believe, contrary, I probably shouldn't in light of Dieselgate, but I believe that these Germans have this stuff figured out.
They have most of it. Not all their cars are there, but the BMW X3 also there.
Really?
Yes, the threes. Do you see the pattern of the threes?
Talk to Randy Quaid about that.
Okay, now here's one that really surprised me. The Genesis G70. Having driven the Genesis stuff, the South Koreans, I thought, really had it together, but not on the G70. I drove this vehicle, and
you
I
said
liked
it was great. You spoke very highly of it.
But apparently it does not last. Mini Cooper? It just says Mini Cooper.
Another BMW product. Does it surprise me? I mean, it's a cheap car.
Yep.
I don't know if it's ever been reliable.
Tesla Model S.
Not surprising.
Not that we were just discussing that. But, boy, at this point, to have a Tesla Model S come off that list, at this point, right? That car's how many years old now?
Yeah.
10, is it?
You would think.
The Tesla guys know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
You would think, or it depends on your point of view. You
Okay,
either think Elon is a genius or not.
Here are some of the surprises, all right? These last 5 surprised me. Well, maybe not so much. The Porsche Taycan.
Huh.
I'd heard that there were some
first year.
things going on with the electronics, that there was some wacky light shows going on in there. A couple, I've been told confidentially, had been returned.
Did anything catch fire?
No, nothing catches fire, but things after 4 or 5 times of bringing these specific examples back, they bought them back.
You saw the Instagram where, was it a Taycan that drove off the
yeah,
upper driveway?
Yeah. Now, in that video, that was a new car. The guy is going up. It seems a European driveway in England, right? It was an English driveway. He goes up, and it looks like he was trying to just press the gas a little bit and go a little bit further up the driveway, right? But the 0 to 60 is like 0.4 seconds.
He hooked to the right.
And he hooks to the right and falls.
And goes off onto the driveway below.
I've driven that car, and I don't know how he did that. That's like any old person hitting the throttle and panicking. I don't blame the car. I know Jalopnik wrote that up as the Taycan is too fast. No, it's not. An idiot is driving the car. I'm sorry, and panicked. There's no world where you press down on the accelerator and then panic and leave your foot on it.
I believe that the driver had his ration of grog.
Yes.
He had a rum ration.
I think you're right. Yes. Yeah. Don't blame the Taycan for that. But there are some issues. And look, I'm going to forgive Audi and Porsche, and yes, because I like those brands, but they're also first-year cars, and I want Porsche to make more of this stuff. And I've driven the Taycan, and the one I had performed perfectly and was fantastic and wildly fast and fun and delivered a Porsche 911 experience in an electric car, which Tesla doesn't do. I like Tesla,
but
I don't
is on the list, Ferris?
Them. Well, I'm talking about Taycan first.
Hurry.
Why?
Because I just want to bully you.
Subaru Ascent, no surprises there.
Whoop-de-doo for my
Volkswagen
Subaru.
GTI, I hate to see it because I like the car. But And then the Volvo XC60.
Really?
So you see kind of a pattern here a little bit in the mid-size to smaller models in the product line, right? Because the XC90 is one of those cars where I believe in Europe they've had no deaths attributed to it. It's one of those beautiful creations.
I was rooting for Volvo. That surprises me. I thought they had their shit figured out.
The XC60, I believe, is a new platform. It's a brand new thing. And again, that points to this golden rule of cars, which I'm going to
be a first-year buyer.
Yeah, and I'm going to be guilty of that with the Land Rover Defender, but I'm ready for it. And by the way, I've heard that about the Land Rover Defender too. I've heard every once in a while there's one of them that's not working right.
Do you think the new Corvette will even make the list of reliable cars to be taken off the list of reliable cars?
Because it's so unreliable already?
Corvette talk about a history of first-year disaster editions.
Yes. All right, Zuckerman, tell us what you have behind us here. I pulled in to the hangar. I thought you were on a selling spree, but apparently now you're on a buying spree again.
Yeah, I'm like the guy who says he's going to lose weight and goes up 80 pounds.
And then goes to the in and out line.
Yes.
What did you get?
I've got a Euro.
This is beautiful.
Yes, a 1985 M635 CSI. And this car is unbelievable. It's in bronzit. It's got
Bronzit.
It's like a kind of a light platinum.
I like it.
Color. It's a little hint of gold and silver.
I had one of those, that color at least, on a BMW I bought when I first moved out here from my girlfriend.
Right, and it's got a natural hide interior. It's a Euro version, so it has Euro bumpers. It's got HRE wheels, which kind of look a little bit like a BBS kind of a wheel. And what's great about this version as opposed to a U.S. version, in addition to the short bumpers, is that it's got the M1 engine in it. So it's the most powerful of all of the M6 engines, whatever iteration from whatever country. And not to say that it's fast by today's standards, but it has enough get up and go, and it's perfectly balanced to the chassis, and it's just a great car. And the guy who bought it brand new also had spent a fortune on a Nakamichi system, cassette system with amps in the trunk. It's just a fabulous timepiece. It's a time capsule.
It's beautiful. Have you driven it yet?
Yeah, and I loved it.
And what is it like?
Does
it drive like any of your other? Don't you have another M5? Or?
It drives kind of like an M5, although it's a much lower driving position. It's kind of like an M5, and it's just a neat car. Like I said, it doesn't have the craziest amount of horsepower torque. It's 286 horsepower. It's a heavier car, but it gets out of its way, and it's particularly delightful in second, third, fourth gear. When you're rolling through those gears, when you're underway, then it's making great torque and horsepower.
Wow.
The Recaro seats are to die for. The shifter is great. I think it's a good drag shifter in there. It's just a fabulous car, and the looks are great. I'm on a big 80s kick, as you know.
Yeah, I know. So what does 84 say to you as far as cars?
85.
It's an 85?
I don't know. Maybe it's just...
What does carry? I know there's a clutch. You're shifting gears.
Yeah.
There's a Nakamichi.
Yeah.
Those are kind of cool deals.
It's got a great greenhouse, Ferris. And a greenhouse unlike any greenhouse you'll get today.
So you're sitting up higher.
You sit up high. You see everything. It's just a great analog feel. 6 individual throttle bodies. Wow. It's just fantastic.
It's lovely.
Yep.
It's a good car.
Thank you.
Where did where did it come from? You have a way of just springing cars on people's.
I got it from that EAG fellow.
Oh, you did?
And he's a master because, as you know...
Did you send anything back?
Nope, not this time.
So you still have the 2 1Ms?
I have one 1M.
What happened to the rusty one?
The rusty one is my partner Robert Ungens.
Oh, okay.
So I have the black one.
That's the fun one.
I did sell him back the M5 I had, the 88, and I just remembered, and you might do me a favor, it's going to get picked up between 2 and 4, and if you're going back by the garage, I would ask you to go into the garage, get the key out, and pull the car into the outer parking lot.
And then if I do that,
If I do that, I'd be
I'm going to
appreciative.
steal one of your cars.
Do whatever the hell you want. I don't give a fuck.
I just drove your white GT2 RS, which I find really interesting because it's got that added level of comfort with the 18-way seats. It's like a different suspension. It's really nice. That car's really nice.
Everybody mocked me for getting the comfortable seats.
Yeah, it's not what I would buy, but I still enjoyed it. It's a different GT2 experience, like, you know.
Yes, it's livable. In other words, it's livable.
What is this? Here's a story I want to discuss, Zuckerman, that I don't understand. Here, I finally found it here. Maybe you can help me with it. Except I'm on a site that's, God. Renlist. Come on, Renlist. Stop with the nonsense. All right. This post apparently has activated a lot of our listeners to come after us and say what's happening. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what's happening. My dealer just confirmed the stop sale order. Stop sale campaign on 9/11 with Sport Chrono. Do you know anything about this?
No. What does that mean?
I'm reading from this guy's post. I guess we all will have to wait to see what the resolution is for owners. If Porsche is going to force me into software mods that alter performance over what was advertised on my 2015 GTS with 7,500 miles, they better be very generous, including the buyback option.
This is an issue that I am not familiar with.
I've been hit up about it, and I just don't fully understand it. We should have got Dean on the phone. He could have maybe explained it to us, or maybe Jack Murphy.
He could have lied his way out of it.
Lied his way out?
Yeah.
Okay, here's another poster saying, very interesting that the Turbo and Turbo S are on this list. Now I am very curious. Glad I don't have Sport Chrono in my car. With my luck, I will get caught up. It sounds like there's an issue with the Sport Chrono that's resolved with a software fix that then adjusts performance. But why would that be? Why would they have to adjust performance?
Very strange.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
No, and I'm going to have to research this because we have plenty of these Sport Chrono packages.
Do you have Johnny Lieberman's number in your phone?
Shall we call him?
Yeah, get him on the phone. So, well, yeah, see if he knows. He just called a minute ago because we were talking about custom cigars.
Yes, he's mad at me.
Why?
I don't know. I can't. I'll have to tell you off the air.
Oh.
But we have a $1 bet about something that we can't talk about on the air. Hold on. We're calling Lieberman.
Get Lieberman on the phone.
Hey, it's Zuckerman
You have
here.
to hold it up to the mic there.
We are doing a podcast, and Spike has a question for you. Hold on 1 second.
Only if you know the answer to it. Are you aware of this Sport Chrono thing, the stop sale on the 997 Sport Chrono issue?
997?
Yeah, there's something wrong with...
2015 is a 991.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. Stop sale on 9. It's this guy's post. There's a stop sale.
There was, 12 years ago or something.
No, this is last week. A stop sale campaign on the 911 with Sport Chrono.
The new one?
No, it sounds like 5 years ago. 2015 991s, maybe 991.1, 991.2. No
I'm
winners.
not aware of anything with the new one. I mean, I remember there was like something with the 997, like don't buy this 1 year. But they're not on sale, so stop sale will be at 992.
What are you eating right now?
That's my wife eating. We're eating Mediterranean food.
Because I can hear you smacking your food, Lieberman.
We're having a lovely restaurant called Spitz. Kebab.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for your time, sir. No
Thank you,
worries, no
Lieberman.
worries. We don't know either, so don't
We are
feel bad.
Lieberman.
By the way, Zuckerman, your phone is greasy. Greasy as hell. What
did you put on it?
Nothing.
Well,
Is that from your face?
No, dumbbell. It's I put the Gizola, the antibacterial Gizola on it.
That's good. That's
Yes.
smart. You have to.
Gizola.
Cars and Coffee this week was great.
I
This
didn't
past
go.
Sunday. Jay is coming now all the time. We should talk about our shoot. It was wonderful. We were at Jay Leno's garage. We shot a great segment that we can't tell you too much about. But Zuckerman, you had a nice long tracking shot with Jay walking. What was that like for you?
Horrible. And okay. So, as you once told me, you make your movements slower when you're being filmed because things do appear faster. Movements, hand movements, or walking. Now, Jay was setting the pace, and it was a slow pace.
Yes.
But I was unfamiliar with this pace. So I had to look back at him to kind of clock him. We should have practiced the pacing. So it was a very awkward way for me to walk, and I realized that something was going on there. That this was great for you. Because
I was so entertained. I was behind the cameras.
Yeah, because
you call this a walk and talk, and you're exactly right. Walk and talks generally run slow. Because of the crew, they have to.
No one told me.
They're moving backwards, right?
Yeah.
So you walk slowly. It looks normal, but you have to keep an eye on the person next to you. And there are fast walk and talks, but the cameramen trip and fall all the time.
Well, this was a slow one, but no one told me it was slow. We didn't practice the pacing,
right.
And so they kept telling me that there was a mark I had to turn.
Squawk.
I had to turn right.
Marks are hard, right? So a mark is a mark on the floor where you have to stop, but also it's very beneficial not to look. We don't want to see you look down at your mark.
Right, but there was no mark on the floor.
No,
they
there was
pointed to a spot on the floor and said, you turn right here, but I'm looking to my left for Jay.
Yes.
So I missed the mark a couple of times, and I'm also stumbling along. Trying to adjust my walk, Tim, and I knew this was entertaining to you because you got Jay Leno, who at this point it was like he was born on camera, and you've been in front of the camera many times yourself, and I have been in front of the camera one time, and so you can like look down and laugh at me, which is what you were doing.
I was taking video.
Yes,
I was very proud of you,
loved
Zuckerman.
my discomfort, and
I did not. I was recording what I thought was a great moment for the podcast, which is Zuckerman on Jay Leno's Garage being asked about Spike's Car Radio.
This is a great moment. But you know that for myself, I'm a perfectionist, and I like to be able to do something right.
It's going to cut together great. It's going to look perfect. You'll see.
And it's also hard.
It was also hard because there's a deadly virus, and we're on set with a bunch of people inside.
And even you admit it's kind of an awkward set. The
only thing that would have been harder is an audience and live. Those are the only two levels above what you do. That's a very controlled set, and Jay is a professional, and everybody knows the game. And I know it felt that it was hard and awkward for you, but for everybody else, that was an easy breezy segment, and you did better than anybody who came out of a garage with greasy hands who's never been doing anything.
Thank you.
You shot on Car Matchmaker with me.
Yes, that's true.
You do this every week. You're already in the game. I watch it cut together.
I don't think.
But you remember, so then you and Jay walk in, and then I got to drive the Zagato in. Do you remember?
Hey, look at him! Look who just showed up, as if it was a surprise.
And what did the crew say when we wrapped that piece?
Okay,
what did they say?
You pulled in the best out of anyone ever in the history of this show.
I was very proud of that compliment.
You should. That you pulled in.
I came in. You know what I did? I turned the lights on. I beeped the horn. I made some noise.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great entrance.
And then it was odd that we had to stand
6 feet apart.
At least 6 feet. That was kind of odd.
The whole thing was weird, but
it feels weird. But Jay is, as you know, knows everything about cars.
That was great.
The editing, I watched that thing shoot. I know how it's going to cut together. It's going to be great. And then he and I drove the
Zagato and the 4Cam.
Yeah. We drove he drove our car and we drove one of his, or I did. They can't get two in the car, but
Look, this is it
was nice. It was fun. I was really happy that day.
Ferris, and I come from a little town on Long Island.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
When I started out my life, I didn't have anything. I didn't even have potential. I remember in 1980, my friend's father saying, "Hey, there's a comedian Jay Leno. I think he's really good, and you guys should watch him." And
he's really good back then.
And if anybody had told me in 1980 that you'll one day, be shooting something on TV, even if that that was even if you said it'll take you 40 years to get there, Zuckerman, I would have said to you, you're fucking crazy. It'll never happen. So to that, I have to say that I'm a little bit pleased that I ended up there. It might be 20 years past anyone's prime, but
it was great.
There it was.
It was fun. And Jay, he's coming to our Cars and Coffee. There's nothing else going on. So he was there again last week. He brought the Miura. This time I didn't have time to get in the car. So he went with No Mask Tony, who made a point. I pulled Tony aside. Tony, by the way, No Mask Tony apologized he for making me feel uncomfortable. And I said, well, it's not really about that. It's about not killing people, Tony.
No Mask Tony sat down with Jay Leno and Tony Vinciquerra, who's the chairman and CEO of the Sony Corp.
Yes.
Two big hitters, and then proceeded to
spit on them.
Put droplets all over them without a mask.
He felt bad about it, and he's changed. He put his mask on, and he got in the car with Jay, and they went for a nice ride. So at least we've saved one life. But we do have one new nickname for the show, No Mask Tony. I love all the people we're starting to collect. We got No Mask Tony. Fireball was there.
Yeah.
He came up and we were chit-chatting, had a nice chat. He said that people are still giving him a hard time. And I said, well, we've not, since you came on the show and we realized what a great dude you were, we have not said anything. And he said, well, I think it's Matt Farrer, once he goes down on that road. So Zach Kaplan, who's Matt Farrer's co-host, showed up. And I said, hey, you guys should go easy on Fireball. And he goes, we haven't said anything about Fireball since the day. So, but apparently some intimidating guy last week came up to Fireball and got in his face.
We shouldn't laugh about that.
And I had to apologize. I said, look, I'm really sorry, but I guess people listen back a bunch of episodes. I know my mom was catching up the other day and finally caught up.
Now we speak so highly of him.
But we will say, not only that, Zuckerman, but we're talking about, how he's an illustrator. We're talking about doing a book, like a coloring book for kids. He did one not too long ago with Tony Dow of Leave It to Beaver.
Is he alive?
He apparently is. And they had a nice little autograph session, and he asked me if I would do one, and I thought that could be the way that the olive branch that we...
Could we please commemorate the theft of the 87?
It's not going to be anything like that.
Come on.
He pitched me the top 10 Porsches of all time. I told him that once I had made a list, and it was hard for me to get down to 25. And he said we could do the top 20, and they could.
Would that include you chucking off in a 911? Would that be in the coloring book?
And
what color would you color the droplets?
Oh, Zuckerman, it's Thanksgiving. It's the holiday. People are listening in line to get tested with their kids.
Gravy for Thanksgiving.
And I think I'm going to do it. I think it'll be fun. It's because I had just been on. I was just on somebody's podcast, the Collector Car podcast. Which it might be the RM Sotheby's one, and they were talking about their top 10 Porsches, and I was saying it's impossible to come up with just 10 of the greatest Porsches. Do you remember when I had to do this for some magazine?
Yeah.
And I had to put it together, and you and I and Jerry were like, we couldn't even get it down to 25.
We said there's 25 cars in the top 10.
That was hard to get to 20. Right. It was hard to get to 25 because you start thinking about stuff. This guy had... he had Rod Emery cars on there. I said, look, that's not a factory car. Rod's cars are incredible. He's like number one on the hot rodder list. I'd put him on that list with Singer, but you don't put him on the preservation list. So it was a really fun conversation. I think the book is going to be great. And we'll do that. And Fireball's a good guy. We like Fireball.
I can think of all great coloring things. Porsche's contribution to the war effort. We could color that. We could color in their factories and their labor.
Oh, how do you have to ruin everything? It's the holidays.
That's called ruining. I'm happy. You're smiling.
What are you going to do for Thanksgiving? What is your plan?
It's going to be the family of four. We're going to be in Baldwin Hills at that house, which will be great. Beautiful. That's a perfect Thanksgiving house with the two old Thermidor ovens from the 1950s, cooking a big butter ball. And then we'll drive, Ferrison. We should drive.
Yeah. No, I would do that for sure. Yeah, Thanksgiving drive. Will Bill be open? He needs a day off.
He is open then because he's delivering the food.
Well, the food Ferrison. I thought you delivered on Wednesday.
No, he's open.
Thank you, by the way, to our listeners who all placed orders. He got a lot of business.
His food is delicious.
Yeah, the pies, the berry crumbles, and everything else. It's
berry
good.
Crumble.
I'm a little worried about what's going to happen this Sunday as we decide to shut down here and the enforcement that then follows about the car show out there. What do you think's going to happen?
I think
it's kind of, it's funny when the city's open, right? You're like, okay, this is fun, but now aren't we entering a phase where now it's really a bad idea to have 10,000 people in a parking lot in Malibu?
That I just
Not that I can control it.
I tell you what, last weekend, if you didn't notice this, but I did go, even though I said I did.
I saw the photo.
And
that was that day?
Yes, I parked on the other side, and I watched from there. I was able to have some people come to take pictures of my car, which was terrific. And then I was able to see what was going on across the way. That's where, although we won't be with Bill, that's a really nice, relaxed place to have.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Your Cars and Coffee adjacent. You're not with those people. Now, I'll just tell you one secret. Okay, they've blocked off the entrance to that parking lot, but they haven't blocked off the exit. You go in the exit.
And that's what they're doing. Why would they block it off?
They don't want people going in that side, but you can go in.
That's why your car was by itself.
Yes, and it was great. It was great.
We had Magnus Walker was out there and Hannah. And Jay Rolls Royce went by, or some pre-war deal with smoke coming out the back, and he was chasing it, smelling the smoke and touching it, trying to tell us what was wrong with the engine. That was really funny.
Really?
Yeah, it was
he
good.
He can tell like that.
He was I think he was just joking. But I was happy that most people had their masks on this time. Everybody was, doing what they
Even
what they
Tony.
Can do. Even no mask Tony did. Yes, even he did, as he learns. Because you have to, everybody. I've got 7 family members in Florida. All got it, boom, just like that. One of them just got out of the ICU. It was touch and go for a second, Zuckerman. It was those uncomfortable phone calls where you're talking to a guy who may not make it. Imagine that.
Terrible.
My wife's dad. It's very,
mortality.
Very difficult.
High mortality rate.
Yeah, and, my heart goes out to people who have to deal with that. It's a really rough phone call. Really rough situation, so it's important you do everything you can because we're in the home stretch here, folks. We're in the home stretch, Zuckerman. You don't mind getting the jab, right?
You would hate to be the last person to die before the vaccine.
Wouldn't that be stupid?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awful? Well, anyway, it's a short show today because Zuckerman and I are a little busy. We wish you the best on this Thanksgiving Eve.
Stuff yourself. Be a fucking pig. Just be a pig.
That's Zuckerman's advice. I say just eat by yourself, take care of yourselves, and a good idea from Zuckerman. Save some time in your day for a nice drive in one of your special cars because holidays really are a time to take the special car for a drive, right?
Yes.
Not a lot of traffic.
It's a pandemic. This could be your last drive. It could be your last Thanksgiving if you're not careful. Yeah.
But what are you going to drive? What special car are you going to drive for Thanksgiving, Zuckerman?
It depends on the weather. Okay.
It's going to be about 70, maybe a hair cooler and sunny.
It could be the 300 SL Roadster.
Wow.
That could be a really nice coast drive.
That's good.
Yeah, that or the new M6. That could be. Or the 51 Lancia, which I have not piloted.
Oh, wow.
That could be a great Thanksgiving
That's a good idea.
Yes.
I would go on that drive.
Yes.
I've got, I was in the R18. I took it for another ride out to Malibu, the motorcycle. Hold on. This is the death wagon picking up somebody.
On Sunday.
Because I loved it so much, and I wanted to go on another ride before they take it. They take it today. And I got it out there, and Jay said, last week he said, I'm waiting for that. They gave it to you, and now I'm waiting for it to give to me. He said, no, they delivered me another one. And he said, it has a reverse gear. Because I don't, I don't.
See, we laughed about that. I asked you if it had a reverse gear.
I don't read manuals. I like to experience the bike. This is what I loved about this moment. And I said, no. We started the bike up. Jay started it up, and he showed me. You put it in neutral, and then by your left hand down low, there's a little gear that you flick.
Really?
And then you press the red start button, and it's like an electric reverse. It's not electric, but it goes like 3 miles an hour, no faster. And why that's important.
So it is electric.
I don't think it is. No, It's using the engine. It's using the engine.
Really?
Yeah, I am. Forgive me.
But it limits you, so
Google
you
this.
can't go 75.
Yeah, that's what you worry about because you're not using the throttle to go in reverse. But you know my little garage at home.
Right.
I go down,
Right.
and then I can't get 800 pounds back up. But I did it. I put James on the back, and we backed up out of the driveway. What a revelation! I love that bike. I know I talked about it last week. The R18 is such a winner.
I didn't get a chance to drive it.
I still have it for a minute.
And I want to say, for any of you folks out there who have ever doubted Jay Leno's knowledge of automobiles and his passion and commitment, he's the real deal.
Yeah, he really is.
He is the real deal.
Oh, boy. I just got an email.
What'd you do? You getting divorced?
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Hi, Spike. I have some good news. The McLaren Senna is ready for you.
No way. Wow. That is good news.
Wow.
Do I get to drive it?
Wow, they're going to give it to me for the whole weekend coming up. Well, that's a good note to leave this podcast on.
Fantastic.
And then I'm getting another motorcycle, too. I think this S1000RR BMW, that's the next one I'm getting.
Really?
Wait till you see this thing, Zuckerman.
Gorgeous.
This thing's a little wrist rocket, super fast. It's exactly what my squirrel brain loves.
Please don't die,
I
Ferriston.
won't. Anyway, bless you all. Enjoy your days.
Bless you, Ferriston.
I've got some good guests coming up that I think you're going to enjoy. I'm trying to also get someone from Porsche to talk about those Porsche design cars that came out, and that's getting set up right now. And we wish you all well. Do you have anything to add, Zuckerman, before we go?
No, Ferriston. No, I don't. You have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yes, don't forget
Swiggins.
Swiggins and Peabody. Swiggins hasn't been showing up to the car show.
What will Swiggins and Peabody be
He's off
eating?
to the polo grounds. Off to the polo grounds, Peabody. Either that or he saw me put the word Swiggins on his back on my Instagram.
I forgot to say this. There was an obituary in the New York Times of Rutherford Potes, the ultimate Swiggins. Look at his picture.
Ah, yes. Rutherford Post.
Potes.
Oh, Potes.
Otherwise known as Rudd. Rudd Potes.
Oh, that's a real obituary.
That's a real obituary.
Somebody related to him might hear this.
Well, okay, he
My
had a career in
condolences.
banking, and he really is
Can
a
you
real-life
imagine if your
Swiggins.
dad just died, Zuckerman, and you're listening to this stupid
He lasted
podcast?
until he was 100.
And then
We're not making-
you're making fun of him. He just died.
It's the name, and he represents everything that
But
we're
I'm sure he
not.
could have been a great guy.
He was a great guy. He was the real archetype, the real life archetype of Swiggins. He lived the Swiggins lifestyle.
Oh, my God, we're memorializing a stranger at this point because his name is Rutherford. I bet he was a good dude. Well,
I bet he was, too.
Let's dedicate the show to him.
To
What's
Mr.
his name?
Poots. Rutherford Rudd Poots.
Rutherford Rudd Poots.
I'm going to send you the picture.
And the Poots family, our condolences.
As we laugh.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.